Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and Thor: Love and Thunder did not do as well as at the box office as it was predicted to do. Yes, it did break even. Yes, it did make a little bit of money, but with an astronomical budget like $250 million, this film needed to cross $1 billion to be considered a viable financial success. Now, I really didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder, but I did enjoy Thor: The Dark World and Ragnarok and the original Thor far more than a lot of people did. This franchise has been in a rough situation as a whole for the entirety of Phase 4, and Thor: Love and Thunder is just a great bastion of why. Now, for Thor: Love and Thunder, a lot of normies criticized it, and that was very unusual for the time, and still very unusual because normies, they don't seem to care a lot. They didn't have any problem with Shang-Chi, with Doctor Strange, with Black Widow, all these poorly written movies. Normies just wanted the cool action, and that is a reasonable perspective to take. I'm not going to deny that. But Thor: Love and Thunder still did receive more criticism from the normie fan base than the other films in Phase 4 did, and I think that's just a sign about how poorly written and how anti-Thor that film was. And it seems like Chris Hemsworth kind of felt the backlash to it. Now, this is just my personal opinion based on some recent comments made by Chris Hemsworth, but maybe he is not okay with the direction that Thor went in Thor: Love and Thunder. We've got this article here from The People. It is taking interview quotes from Variety, but this one just put it all together without all the extra stuff really nicely for me, so I decided to go with this one. The headline: Chris Hemsworth says Marvel would have to close the book on Thor if he were to play the character again. And I think personally, it has everything to do with how Thor: Love and Thunder went. He had a previous comment where he said he'd play Thor for as long as he could for the rest of his life, but suddenly after Thor: Love and Thunder, he's like, you know what, I'd do it once if they were going to close the book. That was the only way that I'd sign up for another movie. And that makes sense to me because of how bad Thor: Love and Thunder was. He wants to end the story. He wants to give the fans what they want. He wants to be Thor one more time just to end things off on a high note. That is a perspective that I can totally understand and get, but he doesn't want things to end on Thor: Love and Thunder, but he doesn't want to continue in case something like Thor: Love and Thunder happens again. That is my personal speculation based on these comments that are made, but his actual comments are expounded in he's completely open to revisiting the popular superhero if there is something unique and fresh and unexpected to do with the character and the world. Now, that's something that has happened with nearly every Thor iteration, is they are substantially different. Now, that has received a lot of criticism and a lot of love from fans. A very mixed approach when it comes to the main four Thor movies. Now, I personally think that the first Thor movie is by far the best one, but Ragnarok is still very good, even though it is substantially different from the rest of Thor. So yes, he did get something fresh and unexpected, and that is a perspective as a creative that I can understand as long as the core of the story and the character remains the same. I've always loved the experience. I've been very thankful to be able to do something different each time. Yep, just like I was talking about, he had a lot of opportunities to play very different characters, and even his Avengers appearances were quite different from Age of Ultron and Infinity War specifically. Infinity War was probably peak Thor across all of Thor, but the best Thor movie was Thor 1, and he continued down here. I think there'd be more to say if people want me to say. Again, he's been very, very good with fans. This is something that a lot of Hollywood celebrities need to take notes from, is respect the fans, be polite to them, and say, hey, I want to give you what you guys want. If you guys want me to stay, I'll stay, but as of right now, I'm just not feeling it. Is that all right with you guys? He's being very, very polite. This is customer service at base level. This is something that all of Hollywood really needs to take into account and be like, oh yeah, Thor's the actor, he's nice to people, and he's like, if fans want me to do more, I'll do more. And the fans like him because of that. It's such a crazy thought. You don't have Mark Ruffalo coming out here and attacking fans and then suddenly wonder why fans don't like him. This is why people like Chris Hemsworth, because he's always coming at it from this perspective, trying to be polite to fans, trying to be a good person, and I personally love it. I am a big fan of Chris Hemsworth. He's not as nuanced of an actor in other roles, so I'm not a big overall Chris Hemsworth fan, but him as a person, he's one of the few celebrities besides Henry Cavill that I think might genuinely be a good person underneath the veneer of a Hollywood celebrity, and it's comments like these that really point me in that direction. He continued, we'd probably have to close the book on Thor if I ever did it again. Want to end out on a high note, like I said. I feel like it probably warrants that. I feel like it probably be the finale, but that's not based on anything anyone's told me or any sort of plans. So yeah, this is 100% just him talking here. This isn't representative of Marvel's plans or anything like that. He's just saying, hey, if I were to do it again, I'd want to end it on a high note. I want that to be the finale for the character and find some way to do that in a very high note fashion. That's just what he feels. And again, even when he's saying, yeah, I want to be done, he's still doing it from a fan perspective and still being polite, still being like, hey guys, this is what I'm thinking. How do you guys feel about this? It's not, I'm done with this role. I hate superheroes now. I just want to get the F out of here. That's what we saw with Daniel Craig's James Bond, for example. He said at one point he'd rather slit his own wrist and continue playing the role. That is not a way to interact with fans when they love you in a role. It's just not the way to go about things. So even though he's pretty well done with the role, he's doing it in a very good fashion. You have this birth of a hero, the journey of a hero, then the death of a hero, and I don't know, am I at that stage? Who knows? So this is just 100% speculation on his part at this point, but it is an interesting phenomenon to see his mind change in this fashion from before Thor Love and Thunder when he said he'd go for as long as possible. It's just a neat compare and contrast with the main variable change is the response to Thor Love and Thunder. And hopefully he realizes, because he's an intelligent man, realizes why people had such a big problem with Thor Love and Thunder. And hopefully he fights to keep Thor 5 or whatever that final role is at a high enough point that fans will love the send-off and he will give them what they want, but he'd be done with the role to stop it from happening again in phase 5 or 6 or going forward. Whatever damage that has been done to all the other characters, the damage that was done to him, Thor Love and Thunder, won't happen again as long as he is in control. And that's what I hope comes out of this, is he fights to get that good, solid ending that he seems to want. And that's the best that fans can hope for at this point with the current state of Marvel, Hollywood, and Disney. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.